What's up, nerds? My name is Noah. Welcome back to Table Ready, and today we are continuing our solo one-on-one Dungeons & Dragons adventure with ChatGPT as the DM. Now, if you missed last episode, we were able to track down a group of thieves that have been pillaging the city of AIM as of recent, find their lair, grab the proof that they had done what they had done, and reveal that information to the local authorities. After that, we headed to a tavern nearby to, well, do what bards do and tell our story. We had a couple of drinks, and where we left off, we were realizing that it was the perfect opportunity to share our story and make some new friends. It asked us what we wanted to do, and that is where we will pick up. Before we do that, though, I wanted to drop one quick announcement. Today is a very special day. Why? Because tomorrow is the due date of my firstborn son, and I am almost certain he won't be here by then. But because of that, I'm able to shoot some more videos and have some more fun here. So, on that high note, let's head into the episode. Let's prod a little bit and keep the conversation on the topic that we want. Burglaries, you say? What have you heard recently about these burglaries? Any updates or rumors floating around town?
The bartender leans in a bit closer and lowers his voice.
Well, I've heard that there's a group of thieves who have been targeting some of the more wealthy homes in town. Seems they're not afraid of getting their hands dirty. Some of the owners have reported being roughed up a bit during the break-ins.
He takes a swig of his ale before continuing.
But the guards have been working hard to catch them. I've heard they're even offering a reward for information that leads to an arrest. I notice his lowered voice, and I lower mine too, but not so much that the closest people to me can't hear what I say next. Any word on the size of this reward? Also, have you heard of anyone seeking to claim it?
The man chuckles and takes a sip of his drink.
That reward is nothing to sneeze at. As for anyone else claiming it, I haven't heard of anyone yet, but there's always those who try to take credit for others' work.
He slips a sip of his drink and leans back in the chair.
You know, I've heard whispers of a group of vigilantes taking matters into their own hands to catch these burglars. They say they're a dangerous bunch, but they've been successful at stopping several burglaries already. Well, then I guess I'd better be out with it. I am nearly certain that this group of thieves will be captured sooner than you think, and it will be me who managed to get the drop on them. I'd love to tell the story, but why just tell you if I can entertain the entire room with my tale? I whisper to the man, how about I tell the story aloud for anyone interested in hearing it in this fine establishment, and in exchange, you make sure my glass doesn't stay empty the rest of the night.
The man nods with a smirk.
You've got a deal, Bard. I'll make sure your glass is never empty tonight. Just make sure the story is worth the drinks. I put my hand out and grab the first drink I'll need for the night from the barkeep. I drink half of it in one gulp and pop myself up on the bar. I pluck a simple tune on my lute as background music for my story. It goes something like this. Barkeep, how about you keep the drinks flowing and I'll tell the stories. And everyone else, I'd just like you to gather around, and listen well, for I have a tale to tell of a half-elf who's brave and bold, whose adventure is one to behold. His name is Reese, a wanderer true, with a heart of gold and magic too. He heard of thieves in this very town, where crime and mischief was going down. Reese set out to find these fiends. Easy enough, for so it seemed. He searched the streets far and wide for a clue of where these thieves reside. His search led him to a distant house, boarded up and quiet as a mouse. He snuck around and peered within, the stolen goods piled high and thin. Then suddenly, a thief appeared. Reese's end was surely near. Quick as a flash, he used his power, put the thief to sleep and watched him tower. With evidence in hand, he knew it was time to leave and bid adieu. But a man pursued with anger and might to fights for fools, so Reese took flight. He dodged and weaved back into town. The man was fast and gaining ground. down. Reese's heart beat faster as he ran in dire need of a plan. At last he saw an alleyway. He knew this was his only way. He cast a spell to hide his place. With bated breath and red in face, the man searched high and low and found nothing in the lantern's glow. With sighs, Reese could finally breathe, proud of what he did just achieve. So, my friends, this is the tale of Reese, a bard who did prevail, a hero no one can deny. The man in the story, Reese, is I.
Patrons at the bar erupt into applause and cheers as you finish your story. You can see some of them approaching you, asking for more details, wanting to hear about your adventure in person. You spend the rest of the night regaling them with the stories of your travels and exploits, enjoying the drinks and camaraderie of newfound friends. It's a good night indeed.
But the night's not over yet. Who is the most interesting? I look to see if anyone has scars or adventuring gear. Remember, we're looking to become a part of an adventuring party, and that's because you guys told me that you wanted me to go more classic adventure, find a party, and create stories for my bard to sing about. So that's what we're going to do. By the way, if you have any ideas, put them in the comments below. I'm actually really enjoying the back and forth that we're having. So yeah. Let's keep it going.
As you scan the room, you notice a half-orc sitting in the corner nursing a drink. He has a prominent scar above his left eyebrow, and you can see the hilt of a sword poking out from underneath his cloak. He looks like he has seen his fair share of adventure.
I walk over to the half-orc. Hello there, good sir. You catch any of my little ditty?
The half-orc turns to you with a grin.
I caught it all right. I have to say, it was quite the tale. You got some skill with that lute of yours. I am Korgoth, by the way. Adventurer and occasional mercenary. What brings you to this fine establishment?
Well, I come to entertain with my newest story of adventure. But truth be told, I was hoping I would get the attention of others more prone to danger. Much like yourself, I'd wager.
The half-orc nods.
I've had my share of adventures. I was once a part of a mercenary company that traveled across the lands, fighting in battles, protecting caravans, but those days are behind me now.
He takes a swig of his drink before continuing.
But I'm always up for a good challenge, so if you're looking for someone to help you take down those thieves, count me in.
Whoa. Calm down, dog. I just told the popos about this. Yeah, I pull back my hands in surprise. I appreciate your offer, but I think the authorities are taking care of it tonight. And to be honest, I'd rather claim the reward and let them do the heavy lifting. By the way, are you out here by yourself, or do you have comrades? It's my understanding that adventurers rarely do this kind of thing alone.
The half-orc chuckles.
Fair enough. You're right, I usually don't travel alone, but my companions and I had a disagreement on how to handle a certain job, so I decided to go my own way for a while. But enough about me. Tell me about your adventure and the reward you're after.
A little secretive. Enough about you, more about me. Although I'm sure that Reese loves to hear the sound of his own voice, he's looking for an adventuring party and doesn't really want to hop in with somebody who's going to be super secretive. But let's see what happens. Well, believe it or not, the story I just told in my little ditty there was true. The authorities are going to make an arrest, and I'll collect whatever reward there is for my information. But back to you. What was the disagreement? I hope you don't mind me asking. I roll persuasion. Okay, 13 plus 6. Okay, I rolled a 19.
The half-orc seems to relax a bit at your words and genuine interest in his situation. He takes a deep breath and looks at you.
Well, It's a bit of a sensitive matter, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt talking to a stranger.
He pauses for a moment before continuing.
My companions and I had a disagreement about the course of our next adventure. We had been working together for a few weeks, but we couldn't agree on the direction we wanted to take. Some of us wanted to explore the ruins in the nearby forest, while others wanted to take on a more dangerous quest involving a group of bandits. It got pretty heated, and in the end we decided to part ways. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed. I thought we were all on the same page, but I guess not, and I'm on my own again, which isn't ideal, but I suppose it's better than being stuck in a group that doesn't share the same goals.
I can relate to that. I feel like that's kind of where Reese was too. I mean, I'd like to make things work with Korgath. I'm not sure if he's really got the fighting spirit in him anymore, but if he does, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to bring him into a party. I don't know if we are going to like piece this party together one by one, or if we can actually find a group. I'd rather find a group. I think both would be cool, but for the sake of time in this episode, I kind of want to see if I can find a larger group. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I start looking around the bar. Korgath is interesting, but not really what I'm looking for. Do I see any other adventurers here?
As you scan the bar, you do spot a group of 3 individuals sitting together at a nearby table. They appear to be equipped with adventuring gear and weapons, and their conversation is animated and filled with references to battles and quests. They seem to be engrossed in their own discussion, but you get the sense that they might be open to a conversation if you approached.
That's cool. Let's slow our roll. Well, Korgath, what are your talents? What did you contribute to your previous party? I wait for Korgath's reply, but keep an eye on the group of 3 that you mentioned.
Korgath takes a sip of his drink before responding.
I'm a skilled warrior, and I know my way around a variety of weapons. I can handle myself in a fight, and I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. In my previous adventuring party, I was often the first one into the fray, taking on the toughest foes while the others provided support from behind.
As Korgath speaks, you notice that the group of 3 seem engaged in their own conversation, not paying much attention to the rest of the bar.
Well, my old orc, I'm in search of some danger and adventure. I plan to find a party of adventurers to join so that I may chronicle their adventures, and possibly even join in from time to time. Are those days truly behind you, or do you still hunger for a quest?
Korgath grunts and scratches his chin.
I may be old, but I have some fight left in me. If you can find a party in need of a strong arm, I may be interested in joining. Don't expect me to be doing any dancing or singing. That's not my style.
Cool, because that's my style.
As you keep an eye on the group of 3, you notice that they seem to be talking in hushed tones and occasionally glancing around the bar. It's hard to tell what they're discussing, but they seem in deep conversation.
I finish my drink, tap Korgath on the shoulder. Follow my lead, good friend. I stand up, shake my empty glass in my hand, gesturing to the bar that I need a refill as I walk over to the table of adventurers. Who do I see as I approach the table?
As you approach the table, you see the 3 adventurers sitting together. The first is a tall, muscular human man with short blonde hair and blue eyes. He wears studded leather armor and has a quiver of arrows strapped to his back. You can tell from his bow and the way he carries himself that he is an archer of some kind. The second is a petite halfling woman with curly brown hair tied up in a messy bun. She wears leather armor and has several daggers sheathed at her belt. Her eyes scan the room constantly, and you can tell she's very observant. The third is a half-elf woman with long dark hair and piercing green eyes. She wears a long cloak over some maybe leather armor. As you can see, the hilt of what might be a rapier beneath the coat.
She seems to be the most reserved of the group, quietly sipping on a drink, watching the room with a discerning eye. Well, hello. I couldn't help but overhear what you were talking about and take interest. I'm lying, of course. Would you mind cluing me and my big friend here in? It really did sound interesting. 18. Oh, okay. This dice is not pretty, but it rolls pretty freaking well. And with a bonus of 4, that gives me a total of 22.
The adventurers seem a bit hesitant at first, but after a moment of consideration, the halfling woman speaks up.
Well, we're actually discussing a job offer we received from a local noble. Seems he's got a bit of a pest problem at his estate, and he's willing to pay good money to get rid of it. But we haven't decided yet if we're going to take it or not.
She looks at you and Korgath, sizing you up for a moment.
But I'm curious, what brings you two to this neck of the woods? Looking for work yourselves?
Well, yes. Just so happens we are. Though clearing out pests wasn't my original idea of adventure, I must say, working for a noble does sound intriguing. My name is Reese, and this is Korgath.
The three adventurers look at you and Korgath with a mix of curiosity and caution. The halfling woman with brown hair and sharp eyes speaks up first.
I'm Marla, a rogue by trade. This is my companion, Tavion.
She says, gesturing towards the tall, muscular human man with a bald head and a serious expression.
And our wizard friend Ophelia.
She continues, indicating the half-elf woman with long curly hair and a book in her hand. Marla looks at you and Korgath skeptically.
You two look like a strange pair. What skills do you bring to the table?
She asks. What skills do I bring to the table? How should I describe this? I look at Marla after she asks what Korgath and I bring to the table and reply, well, I think it's obvious what my orc friend here brings to the table. His sheer size, strength, and fighting experience is something we all look like we could benefit from, noting that we're all small. As for myself, I'm a bard. I mostly craft stories and music, but I also dabble in the arcane arts as well as the art of persuasion.
Korgath nods in agreement with Reese's words.
I can certainly be of use in a scrap. And Reese may not look like much, but he's got a silver tongue on him. Stalked his way out of more than one tight spot.
I chuckle at his words. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I do pride myself on the ability to talk my way out of trouble when in need.
Korgath looks back to Marla.
So what exactly is this job you and your companions are taking on, and what sort of reward are you offering for our assistance?
Marla nods and smiles at Reese's response.
Well, it sounds like you could both be valuable assets to our team. We're in need of capable fighters and someone to help navigate social situations. Plus, having a bard boost morale is always a plus. But what about traps and locks? Do either of you have experience with those?
And what about wilderness survival skills? We'll be traveling through some treacherous terrain to get to the noble's estate.
Marla nods in agreement.
These are all important skills to have in this mission. What do you both say?
I may not be a master of those skills, but I would consider myself a jack of all trades. And what is better is I plan to trust those of you who are experts in your fields of expertise. I just hope you'll trust us to do the same.
Marla nods approvingly at your response.
Well said, Reese. It's always good to have a diverse set of skills in the party. If you're interested, we can give you more details about the job and see if it's something you're interested in.
She gestures for you to pull up a chair and takes a sip of a drink before continuing.
Our employer, Lord Wycliffe, has been having some trouble with a group of bandits who have been raiding his supply caravans. We've been hired to track down their hideout and put a stop to their activities. It won't be easy, but the reward is substantial.
She pauses, looking at each of her companions.
Oh, by pests you meant bandits. Well, bandits it is then. We're in. I say with tightness in my throat, remembering what bandits did to my life back at home. I chug the rest of my drink and stand up. Thanks, you lot. Tonight I need to settle up a reward for some past heroic deeds and get some rest. Where should I find you all in the morning?
You can find us at the Rusty Dagger Inn. We plan to leave at dawn, so be sure to get a good night's rest.
She hands you a piece of parchment with the address for the inn on it.
We'll see you in the morning then.
Next episode, I will hop in grab my reward. I think I'm going to take Korgoth with me just to make sure nobody tries any funny business with my reward. We'll meet up with the party and head off on our journey for bandits. If you can leave in the comments below, do you think that the last adventure was worth leveling up? We're level 3 right now. Or sorry, no, we're level 2. So we would be level 3 if we leveled up. Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't yet, make like a mage hand out of the like button and hit subscribe. This has been a lot of fun, and I am still surprised that we've gone from like 8 subscribers to 25 subscribers to 100 subscribers to 140. I mean, it's incredible, and that's all because you guys keep hitting subscribe. So thanks, guys. Yeah, I'll hopefully see you next week. Peace.